Hello, my name is Tom from Thomas Oscar Miles Photography, and this is a quick skin retouching tutorial that I've been asked to go over. So I'm going to show you how I deal with skin in pictures and what kind of tools I use in Photoshop to get to a final image. So today I'm going to be going through this image here, which is on screen. I titled it A Fellow Bud, and it's a self-portrait in a bunch of gypsophilias in nature. So this is the final image, and I'm going to be going over this base image that I took. So I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to show you what I did skin wise and all the tools I used to get to the final image you saw before. So excuse for being so close to my face. So I'm going to use tools all up this side of the Photoshop panel. So if you've got other softwares, they'll probably do the same sort of thing, I'm not too sure, but for now we're going to be going over Photoshop. So what I do is I always create a duplicate layer before I do anything, just because I've always got something to fall back on in case I go wrong, which I will end up doing. So what I do is I hit Command J on the keyboard, or Control J if it's a PC. So you can do that, or you can drag your original layer to this little piece of paper at the bottom, and it will create a copy as well. Either way is fine. I always do Command J because I'm lazy. So then what I'll do is I'll zoom in right onto a bit I want to start with, and I'll click this tool here, which is called the Spot Healing Brush tool. So what that'll do is literally click spots and any tiny details that you want to get rid of in your picture. So I zoom right in, clicking Command J, or you can zoom in any other way, there's loads of ways. So it'll come up with this little circle here, and I use my bracket keys to make my brush size bigger or smaller. So with these you can have it small, because if you have it too big, it's got too much to change and it will freak out and go pixely. So I always go for smaller ones, and you can change it here. I have my hardness at 0, so it's very fuzzy and soft, otherwise you'll get harsh lines. And then I always have content aware on, and I have sample all layers off, so it's only controlling the one layer on, which is perfect. So then what I'll do, I'll zoom in and I'll just literally click away on any sort of details that I want to get rid of, and just keep working around all these little details and just get rid of them all. So anything your model has, like if they have spots or unwanted lines or marks or anything like that, you can simply just get rid of. It doesn't even have to be skin. This can work. I usually use this in the background as well, so if there's any marks or lines on a backdrop or some sort of unwanted branch, you can get rid of that easily with this. So I just click away like that. Let's see where else. Do a bit up here. So yeah, I just sit here for a while, and then I'm just clicking away like a mad person. So yeah, I'm liking that a lot better. A lot less distractions in the picture, because they're not necessarily wanted for the final image. Because when I sharpen this at the end, they're going to be really enhanced, which we don't want. So I'll also get rid of this hair, which always seems to grow on the end of my nose. I do not know why. So I'll get rid of that. And I always like to keep moles and things like this in. I usually don't get rid of them. But just things that are kind of not so natural, like spots. I also get this white dot in. I don't really know what it is. I'm sure it's not a spot. I'm checking as we speak. But I liked it. It looked like a little flower, like one of these little gypsophilias growing. So I kept it in. And what you can do then is you can toggle with this eyeball key there. So I just click on that, and you can see before and after of what we've just done. So you can see before there's a lot of harsh dots here. I won't call them blackheads, but yeah. And then you click on that, and it's just softened it, got rid of that detail, and it's less distracting. Cool. So then I'll also do bits like this, and just simply get rid of that texture, as it's not wanted. So yeah, with self-portraits, I never try and worry too much. I'm not trying to make myself look like a Barbie. It's just for the point of distraction, really. So just getting rid of lines where the unders of my eyes meet my cheeks. So just get rid of that, and then you can see it's sort of getting rid of that extra texture, sort of flattening the skin, which is a bit more flattering. And then I also maybe do a bit bigger, or you can change your brush size, either one works. So yeah, that's looking a lot better. So I would take a lot more time on this and just get rid of all that that's not needed. So things like these spots as well. I also might use another tool, which is the clone stamp. So what I do is I click on this stamp, which is 2 below it, So you've got pattern stamp or clone stamp, so we'll use that one. And then I would make that smaller. And what this allows is to take a certain selection of skin that you select, and you can paste that somewhere else. So you have all these modes here. I often use lighten for skin retouching, just because you spots are typically darker than the skin tone. So that's going to brighten it basically. So I would select a portion of the skin that's close by that's a similar tone to what that would be. And I hold my Alt key, which comes up with this little target, and then I just click, so that's selected that portion. And from there I can just go over the bit that I don't like, and it will just paint from the bit that I do like. And that's sort of created a subtle difference there. I might actually take a bit of a darker bit there. And then I would change my blending mode to normal. And you can also change your opacity as well. So I usually do it on a low one, just because I want to create subtle changes. So yeah, just like that, and that's also keeping some of the natural texture. So that's doing something. And just seeing what works for yours. So I'm just doing the same, Alt click, and then clicky, 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 clicky. Get rid of all that. Same with here. And just these little bits. I like having moles in pictures, so I never really worry about them. And it's the same with if you've got dark under eyes, go into lighten, and then I usually just click underneath the skin, making sure my opacity is quite low. I never try and do this on 100 opacity. I always try and do skin retouching less, because you can always add on, but it's harder to take away. So I just very subtly just get rid of all that bit there. And it's not a lot, but it's still something. And what I also do is I select around it, and then I make an adjustment layer, and then because sometimes they can be a bit blue, as you can see, so I make them a bit warmer to match the rest of the skin tone. So you can see a strong line there. So I'll show you how I do that. So I select around with the lasso tool, which is just there in Photoshop, and then I go into refine edge, feather it, so you can see. So quite a soft edge, which means the pixel difference is a lot subtler. It's a lot less harsh. So then in this little yin and yang sign, it will give you all these options. I go into curves, because I do everything in curves. Take the blue levels, and I reduce that. So it's taking out any blues in the highlights. So this top bit is highlights, this top bit is the shadows. So I usually work with the highlight portion, although it is a lot of mid-tone. So I just play around with that really, and just do something like that. So it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but it's just going to subtly get rid of that. And then with this little box here is a layer mask, which means it's like an eraser, so you can get rid of things. So I use the paintbrush thing at the bottom here with the paintbrush, and I use black on a higher opacity, and I just get rid of that harsh edge, which doesn't fit with what we're going for. So it's just something subtle again, but it'll do the job zoomed out. Right, thank you guys for watching so much. I hope to see you all soon, and I hope this helps you out. I'd love to see your results, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!